Beautiful people, part 3 of spirit-led initiations, and Joe takes us deeper and deeper and deeper into the forest. My thoughts on this: it's important to understand that all initiations are beginnings and never endings.
Down, and as it travelled along and it onto the ground, and I looked down and there was a skull on the ground, a beautiful animal skull. It looked, I mean, first glance I was thinking, right, well, perhaps it was a sheep or something like that. They do graze livestock on the forest. And I could see something about it said herbivore anyway, just looking at it. I didn't think it was a fox or anything. And I was like, oh, how often do you see skulls? You just don't. I don't. And I'm out in the woods and I'm out in the forest a lot. And I just don't see them.
You live out there.
Yeah, no, I know. I know. When I'm not working. And I was so excited by that, and also I felt blessed. Something in me said this is a real blessing, because I felt that Rosa had led me there. She'd made that beeline. She'd stopped. She hadn't gone and tried to chew on it or anything like that. She'd stopped still, turned round and looked at it and made me do the same. Rain's still coming down at this point, and we didn't care. And so being who I am, I thanked Spirit for this blessing, because I felt that it was a blessing. It had to be a gift for me because it was there, it was placed for me, and I'd been led there. And then I went to pick it up. I asked permission and I felt it was given, and I went to pick it up. And as I went to pick it up, so did Rosa, but whereas I was going to pick it up by its face, she went and grabbed an antler. And I hadn't even noticed that there were antlers there.
Why you were trying to figure out, maybe you knew an idea of what it was, but you weren't so sure because,
I couldn't see them. They were camouflaged. The dark antlers were camouflaged against the bank in front, and so
and they're
I just couldn't see them. They're big antlers.
They're big antlers.
I should have brought it, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Next time.
Well, you can post a picture of it.
Yes, I
We'll
shall.
do that.
Yes, I shall.
Anyway, so it had antlers, and Rosa was very happy to give it to me. It wasn't like she wanted to take it away. It was like she was helping me up with it. So so I gently cradled this beautiful deer skull with its antlers, so perfectly formed, so beautiful, and I carried it in my arms like a baby, all the way back to the car, and as we carried on in our beeline, again through bracken and tall grass and all sorts, there was no discernible path or anything, but when we got to the edge of this sort of field that we've been crossing, it wasn't really a field, it was just heath. When we got to the other edge of it, the opposite side, there was a footpath sign, as if we'd been following a footpath, but there had been no signs. There was no clear path, but there was a footpath sign, and from then we were straight, straight back to the car. It didn't take us long at all. It was just, it was bizarre.
You look like the bridge to nowhere, the path to nowhere, but everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember, you popped and saw me, I think, the next day or a day later. And you go, I got something to show you, I was going to share with you. It was hidden, and like you coming through the door, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was the fact that you'd woke up that morning and, knowing you as well as I do, that you randomly out of the blue went, right, I'm going somewhere else. It's like there was this, it was if something has swept through you and was leading you to that very place. And of course then Rosa leading the way. So it wasn't tangible. It wasn't kind of thought through. It was literally you moving through the fabric of all of that, and you were led to that point and that place. It's like you had an appointment with the land itself. The land had called you. And